Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Bad people, welcome to our show. Anyone who want to learn more about Google Ads, welcome. Today we are going to discuss how you can get results, how you can create your strategy, because this channel, marketing channel, is overwhelmed, overpriced, and today we need to pay a lot for click, but it's more important to get clicks that will sell your products in the end than chasing low quality clicks. I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Rokas Golcas. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. And I love the slideshow, the presentation, my videos. I don't know where did you get them. It looked cool.
I want to be honest. I don't know where my team can find all this information as well. I usually tell them, I have a great guest. I want to discuss about this topic, and they search online, probably on all social media. I usually give them the task, please be concise, specific, and create something valuable, unique. They're creative on that. Rokas, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and tell us why you decided to choose Google Ads when we have a lot of other marketing channels.
Well, that can be a long story. I think it started, let me count, 14 years maybe ago, 14, maybe 13 or something like that. I'm from a small country. At that time, when you worked for a company, you basically did everything. All the ads and products and creating and everything, like talking to developers. So Google Ads was sort of the platform we were thinking of trying. And of course, you don't hire like you do now, or like the big companies do. They need Google Ads, they hire someone. Well, we didn't have money. So I just bought a book and read about it and started doing it. And after a while, I just kind of got, I suppose, good at it. And, years later, I just sort of stuck with it and deepened my knowledge, got more experience, and sort of it kind of stayed with me. Honestly, I didn't think too much about whether to pick this or that platform. It's just something I needed to do. And I just started doing it. And I kind of liked it. And I was becoming better and better. And, then started working for companies doing specifically Google Ads. And, now I'm here writing books, doing seminars, whatever. And yeah, I guess I'm stuck with it for a while.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll share links to your webinars in the description for someone who is looking ways to get more results with that. And I want to start with the first simple question: how to create this strategy? It's interesting. Many years ago, I think I started my digital journey in 2008, and I set up Google Ads myself. And that worked because competition was low. I paid for click like 5-10 cents, not a lot. Today, in my niche, I need to pay $5-10. It's like 100 times more. That's why I think I got great results paying 5-10 cents per click without creating a buying persona, without considering strong sites, many different insights. And today it's a must-have. You need to analyze your customers, unique selling proposition. Can you tell how to create a strategy, where to start, what to do? For example, if someone started from scratch, give insights how to do it.
Right. I'll try to be as concise as possible. I usually, if there is a website or a product, let's say, then I basically look at the product. Google Ads is very good if people are already searching for it. That's the key factor. I mean, Facebook ads, this doesn't matter. You can show ads, when people scroll. With Google, someone actually has to search for your product or service. Now, it's easy to find because you know your product, right? If you say, if you take your men's leather shoes, there will be a lot of searches. So one thing you to do is try to find your niche, try to pick specific keywords that describe your products exactly. Because if you try to advertise, for example, just men's shoes, it'll be way too expensive. You'll get a lot of traffic. But if your shoes, for example, are leather, custom made from Italy, so you try to get as specific as possible with your keywords. So that's one thing. So I usually start with as much as possible with specific keywords. So men's leather shoes from Italy. That'll be my keyword to start if I would sell, men's leather shoes. So I'll try to go as specific as possible because competition usually is lower for specific keywords. Of course, you need to look at the page. Back in 2008, yes, the competition was lower, but also people usually converted pretty good. Now you have to work on a landing page as well, or in a website. So, pictures, titles, everything related to conversion, all the best practices should work. But so that's the web page. For ads, yeah, I'll start with as specific keywords as possible and see if that converts. If that converts, I'll go up a little higher. So for example, if men's leather shoes from Italy convert, then I will go to men's shoes from Italy, skip the leather part, or just go to men's leather shoes, skip the Italy part. So you go one step up and up to the broader audience, and this way you always check whether they convert. So I mean that's the ballpark of it, but for Google search, that's the basic. I mean, people search for something already on Google. So your job is to find a specific keyword that is more or less low in competition, but still describes your product exactly, because you don't want to get traffic that is not ready to buy, for example. The other part, you can always, if, for example, you sell something that people search widely, you can bid on keywords that have buy word in it. For example, buy leather men's shoes. Because if people search for something and they enter buy and something, then they are more ready to buy. So it's like a bottom of the funnel keywords, right? You don't search for keywords like buy winter tires if you don't want to buy them. You obviously are ready to buy. That's why you search for it. So that's the usually two.
Yeah,
Nice.
guys like it. They have no internet, but I think in North Korea they will one day and we'll learn about Google Ads. Yeah, awesome, interesting. I want to ask about how, for example, in SEO, we usually spend so much time to group a list of keywords, but we never use minus keywords. That I think it's a must-have in Google Ads. Can you tell how to do it right? I mean, like how to find a list of minus words? I remember when I cooperated with one client and he has a big factory of charges. I mean, like for electric cars and batteries, charges, something like this. And he told me that his Google Ads campaign started to work when he used plus 5,000 minus words because batteries for smartphones are more popular than for cars, and it might mislead people. Can you tell how to find this list, like plus 5,000 words, more or less, and to know that these words will not bring any results?
Yeah, what you're calling is negative keywords.
Yeah,
it's the keywords that you don't want to trigger your ad. So basically, you're excluding them. How it works is, for example, as you said, like let's say a car battery. A battery keyword, it's very, very generic. It's very broad, right? You have cell phone, you have bikes, you have cars. So if you are using a phrase match keyword that says car battery, you are also likely to trigger the ad for cell phone battery or phone battery. So in this instance, usually that battery is sort of a generic word. Then you exclude cell phones and bikes and car and TVs or whatever. Sometimes you do know that the word or the keyword that you're bidding also has sort of like similar keywords, like that the battery is. You can also, for example, TVs. It can be new TVs and used TVs, right? So if you will be bidding on televisions or TVs or even phones, right? I mean, iPhone 14. That's a good keyword in a way. It's a broad, but even iPhone 14 price keyword is okay, but there can also be used iPhone 14 price, right? Someone actually can search for used phones. If you don't have used phones, then the word used should be added to your negative keyword list. So for most part, you usually start with like common sense things. You think in that kind of terms, like if you have only new items, you want to exclude everything that is connected with used items. If you don't have free shipping, you exclude free word from everything that you bid on. So that's the first thing. I mean, basically apply common sense, and since you know your product, your business, you kind of more or less aware of what people might search. The rest of negative keywords, it usually comes from when you start bidding. So for example, if you have, iPhone 14 price keyword, Google will show you all the keywords that people searched when they clicked your ad. It's a huge list, and you can go through that list and just click on the keywords you see and don't like or don't convert, and just exclude them as well or add them to a negative list. So for me, I usually use common sense. Just look at the product or a price and product or a service, and immediately usually see that okay, there might be keywords or searches that people will enter, and they don't actually mean that. It's really hard for B2B businesses, especially because a lot of using B2C people searching for B2C services, and you advertise B2B, so it's kind of a hard here. But afterwards, I just when you optimize keywords, you just basically try to find the ones that can convert and add them to a negative list.
Yeah, nice, valuable, like it. Can you tell? I often hear from my clients when someone can tell Google Ads don't work for me, SEO doesn't work. I don't know, like Facebook doesn't work. So it depends. I think it depends. Yeah, it depends on settings. If you can't set up, then find experts who can do it. Who can provide results with that. Can you tell why people sometimes think that Google Ads don't work? I think, because of the price. I think it's one of the most expensive channels compared to many others, but you can get super relevant clicks if you set up it right. So can you tell why people can think like this and how to change their minds?
There are a couple of reasons. I think first one is, as you said yourself, is the setup. It's not hard to set up, but it's harder to set up correctly. Mm-hmm. So there are guides and videos and everything else that you can use, but they're not, if you don't have experience, it's easy to make mistakes, right? You can add, for example, if we go back to iPhone 14, you can, if you have iPhone 14 on sale on your website, for example, you can add that keyword. But then iPhone 14 keyword is really broad. You'll have a lot of searches, people searching for phone cases, spare parts, used phones. So you'll get a lot of traffic thinking that, it's a good traffic, but people don't buy because people search a lot of things related to iPhone 14, right? So you have to narrow down. So you have to know what you're doing. So that's first thing. The other thing I mentioned before is Google's really good when people already searching for it, right? So for example, the e-commerce stores, if you're searching for clothing or phones, it's really good because you can see how many people search for it and you can bid on that keyword. The third thing is probably related to the landing page or the website. As I said before, I mean, it's a crucial part as well, because what people confuse any platform, Facebook, TikTok, is that it's the platform that does the sale, but it's the website. So the Google Ads or Facebook is just to bring the traffic into the website. But if your website, doesn't look good or doesn't convert, then nothing will happen. Then the platform will get blamed. I tried on Google Ads or Facebook and nothing happens. But then you look at the website and you can barely find the prices, or the text are with mistakes, or the images are poor quality, or whatever the reason. People are not willing to buy from that website, and they blame the platform. So I think that's more or less common three reasons. How to fix it? The last one, the websites. I mean, there are plenty of blog posts about conversion rates, best practices. Start there. The setup part, yes, exactly. If you have time yourself, there's a lot of there are many courses besides me. I'm no genius as well. You can look at it, but you have to have time. So you have to have time to make mistakes. So mistakes usually cost money. So you have to be ready to, first of all, learn it, apply it, day by day, week by week. Hopefully you'll get it right at the first time, which never happens, but maybe. So you have to, learn, spend time learning, and, spend some money making mistakes. And then, optimizing as well. So if you don't have time, try to hire. If you don't have time or money, well, that's a bit tricky, right? But you can learn. I mean, it's not a complicated thing to learn. It just requires time, as everything else, right? Playing guitar, driving a car. It's nothing happened in day one. You have to learn it, and it'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when I started to write my press releases, and I wrote a bunch of press releases. I pitched them. I used all best practices and got 0 mentions, 0 results, 0 full 0. But I learned how it works, and then I hired experts who can write press release. I hired experts who can pitch them. And after managing the process, we got mentioned on CNN, Business Insider, many other great websites because of cooperating with great experts. I think it's similar to any niche. You can test, you can learn to get the basic, but how you can beat expert? It's better to know how it works, because you can't understand and speak one language with an expert who can do it. You can understand why you need to think more about quality clicks than just chasing low cheap clicks. It's important to get clicks that will sell your products, and it's important to learn, but I'm not sure that you can take 2 directions: to improve your products, to develop, innovate, because your competitors are not sleeping, and to set up great Google Ads campaigns. Because it's creative stuff. You need to spend all your time. So I agree about learning, but not sure about to do it. You can test, analyze, but I think it's better to cooperate with experts. Rokas, I want to ask about comparing to other platforms. I often read resources that Google Ads are expensive, and it's better to test different platforms like Bing, less expensive, Facebook, even Twitter. Someone can tell, go to Quora. On Quora, you can get low but effective clicks. So can you tell, is it good idea to extend or replace Google Ads with other paid ads?
I think I also heard that. I think when we speak about Google Ads, we have to mention that Google Ads is also, so it's search ads, right? So you have display ads, you have YouTube, you have shopping ads. There's a bunch of different campaigns. So it's really, the question is what wasn't successful. If you take display, YouTube, and other campaign times, it can get expensive because it's just designed to attract reach rather than results. Although you can reach results, but for search campaigns, I always tell, whether clients or anyone else, it's not actually the cost that's your goal. I mean, your goal is not to get cheaper clicks or lower your budget. Your goal is to make a sale. Now, if you make a sale and you make money, then it's fine. The budget is unlimited, right? Each dollar you spend, gets you $1.50. So you can spend unlimited amount of budget because it comes back to you. So it's really hard to compare whether a click is $2 or $5 versus Facebook, which is $1. If Google Ads convert, then it's fine. I can pay the price. So that's that one thing. I mean, display, YouTube are expensive. Shopping campaigns are better for e-commerce. Search ads, for most part, I think it's mistake setting up, bidding for wrong keywords. That's probably 80%. And of course, there are products or services just don't work on search ads. That's it. They just don't work. Regarding Facebook, I think The downside of Google Ads, search ads in particular, is that it's just text. So you can't really communicate an emotion, right? It's just text, right? I mean, you can in some way, but video and images are way better. So this is where Facebook comes in. So Facebook can create demand. You can attract people to click, using pictures and sound and videos, and you can target audiences. So people don't have to search for you. You can just find an audience, and you can get cheaper clicks. But then again, it's the same platform. Like, you can get cheap clicks, but if no one converts, then it doesn't matter whether it costs 1 cent or $10. No one buys anything.
Yeah.
So I think that's, first of all, it's what is the goal and how much you can pay for that. Sure, you can pay $10 per click, but if someone buys a product that costs $500, then maybe it's okay to pay $5 per click. So I think that's the goal of it. I mean, I don't really like comparing price per click with the platforms. I think the product or service has a platform that is just more suited for it. Facebook is at least for my experience, Facebook is very good for a product or service that is priced around $50 to $70. It's really good on discounts. It's really good on perceived value or emotions, because you can show the product, you can show the people using the product, you can show the videos, and that's what hooks the people on Facebook. Now, Google Ads is something different. It's way better for people already searching for it. They kind of know what they want. So it's they search, you get an answer, they see the ad, they click on the ad, and then it's your website that actually does the job. Quora, LinkedIn, Twitter, I think it's kind of the same in that aspect. I try LinkedIn ads; they're quite expensive. Quora as well, but again, if you have a product that's designed for more suitable for Quora, then maybe you'll have more luck than on Facebook. So it's really hard to compare. I think you can try all of it, but then again, let's think about it. Google is number one, Facebook's probably number two in reach. I don't know how many billions they have, but like, everyone Googles it, or at least a lot of people Google it, and third of the world is on Facebook. Oh, and Bing ads. Bing ads is really good. I think they have about 15% share in the United States and really low in Europe, probably like 5%, and maybe that's like UK, France, Germany, Poland, some of that. But you can have. It's easy to import all the ads. Like, if you have Google ads, Google search ads that already convert, you can just import them to Bing ads. You most likely will get 10 to 15% increase in conversions, because of just people not using Google and they prefer Bing. I mean, that's just pretty easy. It's basically the same in that sense.
Nice. You mentioned about that landing page target URL can mislead or have no call to action. I don't know, something like this. I mean, like, can you tell how to analyze that that the main problem can be in a landing page? For example, if I open apple.com, I can see only iPhone in the first visible screen. By the way, I opened now and I see iPad, and the main message, bring on college iPad or MacBook. Yeah, so Apple knows when to share iPhone, because iPhone is responsible for 50% of all sales. But right now it's great time for college, and that's why we can see iPad or MacBook. But anyway, what I can see, it's so simple. A lot of white space. I see nice looking pictures. That's it. Now, short message. But if I open Amazon, I can get almost everything, all sales funnel from top to bottom. I can learn reviews, videos, pictures, text, anything. So can you tell how to find the balance between Apple and Amazon when you create your landing page?
That's a good question. Okay, so there are two parts. We'll get back to Apple and Amazon. The key, what I use basically for any campaign. Now, the keyword that people search, right? What you search in the Google Ads, what you enter, it's basically your question, right? Whatever you enter, it's you asking Google to find it, right? Now, SEO results or organic results, they scan the content and the Google gives you results. Now, ads are the same way. the goal with the ad is to answer that question. The same as for landing page. Now, if I search for men's leather shoes, and if I click the ad, I want to see men's leather shoes. I want to see that, like you saw with the iPhone or an iPad. You want to see, either the category of men's leather shoes with, shoes displayed if it's an e-commerce site, or maybe just one huge pair, like an iPhone, like a really expensive, nice-looking pictures, of custom-made leather shoes for men from Italy. That's what you want to see, because you enter that into Google, you clicked on the ad, and you want to see that what you search for. So that's the biggest mistake. People direct users to pages where either they're just really too big, or use homepage. Now, the homepage in Google Ads is not really good unless you have only one product or service. Now, otherwise, it's really complicated because the homepage is usually like a mix of stuff. You can see sales, you can see promotions. So if you use the ads and someone clicks on the ad and doesn't see what they searched for, they leave. That's it. That you wasted a click. Now, when you compare Apple to Amazon, I'm not like an expert in all of the things, but what Apple does is mostly like emotional. Like the product is high value. It's a huge brand. It's always Android versus Apple. They created this huge following, so they keep doing that with everything. Their ads, their images. They show it as a really advanced, really expensive product. Exactly. Yep. There you go. See, mine is old one. I think it's 12 or something. I'm not that huge fan to replace the phone every year. But anyway, yeah, they use that. They show big pictures. I like what they do. Apple does it really, really good. I especially like the titles. Go read the titles of like MacBooks and iPhones and Apple Watches. Just really good copywriting. Now, Amazon is a marketplace. You can find anything there, and they're strong in that. You don't need customer reviews for iPhone. I mean, maybe you needed it a while back, but even then they use a specific strategy where they kind of tell you that it's really good and you kind of believe it. I don't know how they manage it, but anyway. But Amazon, you just have lots of sellers, lots of products. Of course, you open some random, page or Amazon listing, and you see some kind of shoes or jackets. Of course, you want to see if the store is legit and if they sold a lot of things, how people evaluate it, because you don't know anything about that. Amazon is a marketplace, right? So it's similar as you go in your hometown and marketplace, you go to buy vegetables or cucumbers, you go through several sellers and you look at the tomatoes or cucumbers. Oh, these look better. I want to buy from that seller, or that is cheaper. So I think the balance depends on what actually you're selling. If it's something unknown, if it's something people not familiar with, you probably will need more social proof, videos, reviews, testimonials, anything that will convince the user that it's a good idea because it's spending money. Of course, the more expensive the item, the more stuff you need, right? So the more expensive, the website needs to be look better. So like Apple, more testimonials, better quality videos, better quality pictures. So the more expensive, the more doubt the user will have. So you have to convince that it's a good idea. Of course, benefits and features and how it feels and whatever. If an item is cheap, for most part, you don't need a lot of things. I mean, here's the thing, it's $9. Whatever, I'll just buy it and that's it. I mean? Like, you don't need a lot of social proof for the item that is, just $9. So a lot of it depends on like what's the price and who you're attracting, because how much doubt or questions they might have, and your page has to answer each one of their doubts. Why it's $100? Did people buy it? Did they like it? Who is the seller? The seller is from Vietnam. Like, I don't know. I'm from the United States. Can I return the product? What about the shipping? Is it expensive because Vietnam sounds far away? Will I pay it now for shipping? You have to answer all the questions, because people are, if the store is your, in neighborhood, you can walk there and return the product. So that's basically it's ballpark what it's about.
Yeah, valuable. Rokas, you mentioned about the balance. I like this word, especially today, because we have AI, other automation, and I usually balance my job between manual and AI. And yeah, after launching ChatGPT, by the way, I use AI before ChatGPT. Today I use a lot more, and I like this tool. And for example, after editing content on ChatGPT, we got mentioned on great websites like CNN, Business Insider, Forbes, many others. And I know that it's important to use in Google Ads, but to do it in the right way. Once I spoke with Jeff Coyle, co-founder of Market Muse, and he told me that in the future we will have 3 companies. The first company will develop AI, the second company implement, and the third company will be obsolete, who can leave the trade. So can you tell how to find this balance between AI, manual job? Yeah, because if I ask ChatGPT, please write for me Google Ads according to these keywords, I can get for a few seconds. But can you tell, is it quality and how to get it quality?
That's a good question. I also use ChatGPT for some of the stuff for text and for ads as well. The problem is, well, if we talk specifically about Google Ads, is you still have to understand at least the basics to know whether the ad is good or not. So, if you input anything and copy whatever ChatGPT gives you, you're not really sure whether it's a good copy or not. So, then we have like length. We have headlines and descriptions. The headlines are 30 symbols max and descriptions are 90 symbols. Now, this is again something ChatGPT doesn't know, so you have to write a smarter prompt. But in general, I think what usually those automation tools lack is that you as a business owner, you know your audience or business better. Like the keywords. Sure, you can get many ads and then pick the one that sounds nicer, but it's you who's picking, and you are responsible for that. I get some of the text, but I need to write at least 50% because it's not like it's the wording sometimes. ChatGPT may use the words that are popular, but I don't want to use those words because of that. So I need to sort of use the synonyms. I want to be, unique in my ads, and I don't want to use the words that other people might use because of ChatGPT. You know what I mean? Like ChatGPT is learning on the content that's on the web. So if you want to be unique, you can't use that content too much because everyone will use the same content. So I think that's where it sort of lacks the understanding, the emotion, like what exactly do I want to say? And I think the balance for me is that the tasks that I can automate, basically something that doesn't require my input a lot, I sort of outsource to AI or ChatGPT, right? So maybe I need, for example, a headline for a blog. What I do is just, if I'm too lazy, I'll just, give a paragraph and say, generate me 10 headlines. And I will just look at it, what it generates. So it helps me. I don't have to think too much, like, pick the words, because English is not my native language as well. Same to you. So I don't need to think about like synonyms and the words. So I can look at the 10. Okay, this one good. Oh, but I like this one as well. So maybe I'll combine the two. So it helps a little bit, but it's your input is valuable as well, because you have to like maybe combine the 2 headlines, maybe make 1 out of 3. And then use that, because I think that's the balance or the line where I draw it, where you can like start, like it helps you to start a little bit. It helps you like maybe fill in the blank sheet, but it's still, it doesn't do the whole work. So yeah, maybe in the future it will. Maybe when it starts learning on the in real time, maybe then you can outsource even more and more and more. But at this point, I think it's too early. Google also has suggestions in the ads and also this automation, but from my experience, you can use a little bit of that, but it's not as good as someone who is really, really good at Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever. I mean, the person still, I don't know how to call it, experience a feeling, but you kind of know, okay, this will work better than whatever Google suggests, because ChatGPT is generalized based on everything, and everything is not always better, right? I mean, iPhone is really good at taking pictures, but is it better than a professional camera with professional in a professional's hands? Probably not, right? So everything is good, but not always. So I guess that's
Yeah.
the line in some sense.
I know this word. It's called intuition. When you have experience, when you acquire this experience, you can use intuition, and I love it. Sometimes I can rely on intuition more than on logic, because even if logic can tell different way, I have my intuition, because of experience. No way. It's better to
Exactly, yeah.
test like this. Yeah. So yeah. And remember Gary Vee mentioned about intuition. He told that he always uses intuition, because of extended experience. If you have this extended experience, you know how to play it. Yeah. Rokas, I want to ask about your experience. What I found, I usually get great results with customers who understand SEO. So if they understand, we know why we need to create high quality content, why it's more important to think more about traffic value than getting more traffic, many different insights, why we need to use PR, link building. But if my clients don't understand, I tell them, get the basic, learn from my course, for example, from Lily Ray, Jeff Coyle, Mike Phillips, Chelsea Alves, plus 20 other experts. Go to YouTube, Google, just learn, get the basic, understand how it works. So let's imagine you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills. It's your first day in paid marketing, in specifically Google Ads. What will you do today if you started from scratch?
Well, there are two sides, and I think I'm more leaning towards first side. I always try to understand the basic, like how the platform works. Like what is actually behind the scenes, like what is the purpose of the platform, right? Like how it works, what is search, why people search, something like this. Because I think handling UI, pushing buttons, how to create campaign or whatever, it's an easy part. As I said, the harder is like how to do it better. So for me, it's always like, what engages, why people go on Facebook, why people go on Instagram, why people search. And I think I will try to get a course. I'm for sure 100% behind courses. I even, like, if I was in university, like if I was 20 or whatever, 19, I would probably don't even go to university, because I kind of think it's a waste of time. Sure, there are great ones. I don't want to generalize too much. There are great universities, there are great, scholarships, whatever. But in general, if your goal is like to have a skill, to make money, to make a living, there are a lot of information, a lot of free, the better is paid, a lot of newsletters, YouTube, courses, whatever, books. I mean, you can spend a year and become really, really good at whatever you want to be. Well, maybe not heart surgeon, but like, Facebook ads expert, freelance Google ads, there's plenty of material. So I'll try to get the basics, like what hasn't changed, like on the platform, and then try to get as much experience as possible. So my first, as soon as I get like how it works and how to set up things, I would probably do a lot of stuff for free. So that would be my first thing. So, like post on whatever, on your social media, you more or less, you have Facebook accounts, you have LinkedIn, you have whatever. Post there, hey guys, I'm starting this new stuff. I need experience, whatever, I'm doing it for free. You know what I mean? Like that's to get, because theoretical knowledge without experience is nothing. Sure, you can know it, but as you yourself probably know, like there's a lot of stuff that it's not necessarily working all the time for all the clients. So yeah, you need to adjust, right? So this only comes with experience. Now, theory can say one thing, but when you start and there's no results, what to do then? And usually people who don't have experience, they are stuck there because, okay, so I spend, $500 on YouTube or Facebook or Google ads, nothing happened. So what next? What to do. So only experience teaches you what to do next, like check this, check that, So I'll try to get as much experience as possible, working for free, then maybe working for a little money. And then once I have enough experience and knowledge, then I'll, probably up my price. Or you can actually go to work as a junior in the agency, like for a year, because it kind of gives you this quick experience working with a bunch of different clients. I think that's also a pretty good option, but probably not longer for a year, but because you kind of work with small clients across the country, they'll give you shitty accounts, but that's fine because you're learning and someone's paying for you.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, I agree completely, because in marketing, you don't need to get high education. Only, my opinion, that lazy students can go to university because they can't manage the process of learning. But if you wanna go ahead, if you wanna learn, you don't need to get education in college at any other place, because everything is free online. You can take the course, you can find free courses, paid courses, YouTube videos, blog posts, books, marketing books, great books. Just learn the basic, learn how it works, and practice, because I don't like overlearning. Great experts, they learn, they read, but they test more. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo. He hits the ball 1,000 times a day than to read a new book how to play soccer. And it's
sure.
marketing. It's quickly changing field. What I don't like in college, you can't focus in one specific direction. The second, it's obsolete. A lot of information are obsolete. But if you read every single day, if you can learn, if you test, you can get much better results. In medical, of course, you need to go to college. In some niches, it's a must-have. But in marketing, it's wasting time. I completely agree with that. And yeah, Rokas, I just have final question about the future. Can you predict what kind of future will be in Google Ads? Because we have some changes today. Chatbots, probably augmented reality will come to the play. So many things are changing. And your thoughts about the future and how we can adapt to this possible future?
Ooh, good question. Actually, with the AI surging in ChatGPT, I also have this thought: maybe I will be out of job. You know what I mean? Like, AI will create ads. It's text based. Like, you don't need anything now. AI can create videos and images. You have Midjourney, you have ChatGPT. Soon, videos will pop out, and you just enter something, and everything is set up and done. I think that will definitely happen in some way. But I always like to remember all the sayings that once something new comes up, people say, "Oh, email is dead because disappeared." Oh, email is dead because Facebook or chat, whatever happens, it's just, "Oh, email is dead because of that." And I remember people killing email all the time, but it's still the best converting thing, right? So Google Ads is basically similar in some way, unless the search itself changes. Like, people search with their phone. I don't know like how, but what will happen most likely is that AI will assist you more and more and more. So using AI is probably in the near future. I can't predict like 50 or 100 years, but like in the near future, I think learning how to use, like you do yourself, you use it to help you out with some tasks. Like, it doesn't replace all of you, but helps you as an assistant. What you need to learn is how to use that tool to help you, create better ads or whatever, do research or something like that. I think that's probably what happens. With Google, at least all the features that they had before, the downside is that it's generic. Now, whatever they will create for the accounts, like within the accounts, like they have Bard, they may integrate Bard into whatever, but it's all generic. Like, they will focus on everyone because as a platform, it's for everyone. But you need to advertise your business, which is, somewhere in, I don't know, Kyiv on the streets, and it's flower shop. Like, you need only that. You don't need all of the things, all the tools. You need to understand how I can get more people visiting my flower shop or my bakery or my coffee place. And that, for most part, AI cannot answer because it's just designed for everyone. And I think that's the key difference for now, because it's not human, so it can't have the context of it. Like even with ChatGPT, you have to actually prompt correctly for it to understand what you actually want. And even then, it's not really sometimes correct. So I'm not really worried about that. I do probably have a tip for people working to get familiar with tools, understand how they work and how you can use them. But I don't think now that people or AI will replace somehow, and all you need to do is just type a keyword and everything happens, because Google or anyone doesn't have an understanding of what your clients are and what your business is and what you actually need. And that's the core thing that differentiates any automatic systems from a human being optimizing campaigns. So
Yeah, love it, awesome. I think I agree. I think we still need human touch before robots will kill all human being. But if we have human being, we need this human touch, because robots have no emotions. Yeah, you can teach AI to get these emotions, but it's art. It's not real. Rokas,
Yep.
it's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. I love it. Valuable. Tell our audience the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Well, I have the blog. It's under my name. Weekly, I share stuff. It's from basic, like what is Google Ads, to advanced stuff. I think that's the main resource where I share my knowledge. I do have a book as well. It's on the site also, if you want. I mean, for most part, you can read the book and go freelance if you have time to learn experience. I mean, I basically laid out everything I do. It's not the same as all the books that you basically read and then you find out that you have to hire the author to do it good. I really hated those books, so I wrote it in a different way. I wrote it how I would explain to you how to do it. So
Awesome.
If you have time to read it, then you could definitely, I can guarantee you can get a job as a junior in the agency for sure, because I already had people getting the jobs. And if you have time to learn and sort of test on 1 or 2 accounts, you probably can freelance as well. I mean, again, when you know the basics, it's not that hard. Yeah, I think that's for most part. I mean, social media accounts is on the website as well. I don't want to, bore everyone listing social media, but for most part, all my knowledge is on that website. So if someone interested, go ahead.
Nice. Yeah, I have time to read. I only have no time to read all books online, so I usually choose great books that I get a lot more insight. So I'll put your book on my list. Guys, I recommend to anyone. You can see a lot of valuable insights, so you can get a lot more by reading book. And for me, books are the best format ever. Anything can't replace books, because book authors spend like 6 months and a year to write a single book. But for blog articles, video content, audio podcasts, yeah, it takes like 30 minutes, an hour. Blog post like 4 hours, 8 hours. But it's not like book, because books are foundation and the best skills I get from books. So anyone who can listen to this episode, read books, or I will speak with you. Okay, guys, love you. See you.
See ya.